There are two types of lighting temperatures. Everyone should know if you're making a video. There's tungsten, which is a yellow light warm lighting, as well as daylight, which is a bluish white cool lighting. With tungsten lighting, that's the yellow hue and around 3000 K, and tungsten lighting is mostly found in homes because of its soft, warm lighting. Then there is daylight light bulbs, which is around about 5000 K and is a whitish blue color. This matches daylight, so it will match natural light sources, for instance, a window. Then there are actually light bulbs that match this look. This concept of, lighting temperatures and everything like that can be very confusing. So I'm going to try to simplify this concept as best as I can. So if you have any questions, just let me know. But I just wanted to say that it's important to understand to not mix different types of colors, because it actually messes with the white balance. And therefore, the color in the final image won't be correct. And basically, what you want to do is you want the video and the lighting in the video to mimic what you would see in real life. And once you learn the basics, then you can experiment. But for now, basically, if you use yellow lights, all lights have to be yellow. If you're using daylight or bluish white lights, all lights have to be the same color of whitish blue. So when you're using a natural light source like a window, you need to use the daylight cool light bulbs for any of the other artificial lights. Whereas with tungsten lights, the yellow light, you should only use them if you are in a dark room with no other natural lights. Basically, a good rule of thumb, if you are using tungsten light, then you can only use yellow. Yellow, approximately 3000 K warm light. If you can also use cool lighting in a dark room as well, as long as they are all cool daylight, approximately 5000 K cool light bulbs.
Here are some examples of warm and cool light bulbs and what they look like. To match natural daylight sources, you would need to use 5000 K and up. Cool light bulbs only match the lighting coming in from the outside. This is an uncontrolled environment, so these are the only light bulbs you could use, 5000 K and up cool, daylight, in order to correctly balance that lighting. But for warm lighting, because it is in a controlled environment, you could use either 2700 K or 3500 K or anywhere in between. However, you would need to use the same temperature for each one. As in, if you are using 2700 K light bulbs, all light bulbs have to be 2700 K. If you are using 3500 K light bulbs, then you can only use 3500 K light bulbs. The same with cool lights in a controlled environment. You can use the 4600 K cool as long as all artificial lighting sources used are 4100 K light bulbs. So that means no natural light sources are being used. This is from a video describing lighting temperatures, but it was still a little confusing for beginners and more advanced than what you actually need to do in this class. So I just wanted to use these examples and tell you what you need to know to make a standard, well-lit video. But let me know if you're interested in watching this video for more detailed information about lighting temperatures and working with lighting colors. So he starts off with this, where there only is one light source and it's coming from the window in the back. Now, you don't have to have a light in the background, but basically here he only has a window light in the back, so his subject is not bright enough, so the next step is to properly expose his subject. With this in mind, he needs to light the subject from the side to imitate as if the window is extending and brightening the subject up naturally. We want the subject to have a natural appearance, as the color in the video should match his natural skin color. So he puts on the light. However, As you can see, this does not look like his natural skin tone because it is too orange, so the lighting color is off. As you can see here on the bottom, the window and the artificial light are two different colors and are conflicting with each other, as illustrated with these arrows. And the camera above is representing the camera's white balance. It's best to have the white balance neutral for now, so not too warm and not too cool. Yes, you can play with the hue later on in post-production, but even the most expert editors can have a really difficult time fixing the video's colors if the lighting temperature is incorrect in the actual shooting of the video. So it's always best to get the correct balance to begin with. Now, let's change the light from this to this. Now you can see how the subject has a more natural skin tone, which illustrates the white balance is correct and it has a natural hue. As you can see on the bottom, the light sources used are all matching now, and the camera's white balance has not changed. Because the lighting used are all matching and balanced, the image is now, as I said, natural and has the correct color temperature that would match as if we were in that room. Our brains have an automatic white balance and it corrects lighting on its own. So if there are tungsten lightings and a window light, for instance, our brains actually compensate for the different colors coming in from different light sources. However, cameras cannot do that as of now, and that is why we need to do it manually with lighting and matching those lighting temperatures.
To find out the type of light bulb to buy, just look on the box. It should give you the information under lighting appearance. Remember, cool is for daylight with a natural lighting source, and warm can be used for a controlled lighting space with only artificial lights. The lighting in the videos needs to be balanced and match the lights that are used. Also, if you need additional lights, clamp lights, which you have seen in previous videos, can be found in places like Lowe's, Home Depot, and most local hardware stores. Now, there is much more nuance to lighting, but I want to basically have you understand and comprehend the basics first, and that would be most beneficial in making your videos for this class. You can also use many different lighting sources for many different moods or to help separate the foreground and the background if you wanted to have a light in the background, for instance. You could see this in movies, YouTube videos, TV shows, etc., where lights are actually in the shot. They're purposefully there. So the audience can see them, say like a lamp or maybe a multicolored light. These types of lights can be a different color because it's about the ambiance of the room. It's an artistic choice rather than a necessary lighting technique. And these tungsten and daylight are necessary lighting techniques to understand and not to cross over. But once you understand completely the basics, then, as I said before, you can experiment with lights in the background to add a 3D light. And also, if you're interested in more advanced lighting and using them, please feel free to ask any questions.